Premium brands like Merkur and Festool should be worrying, as there's a new cohort of sanders joining the market that are making high-end sanders more affordable for everyday woodworkers like us. What's up woodworkers, Ben here, and today I'm going to give you my thoughts on this new random orbital sander from Rutlands, and I'll be giving you my honest, unfiltered opinion on it all. And I'll also give you my top 3 pros and cons at the end of the video too, so let's get stuck in. There's lots of features on this sander, but I'll quickly reel off the key ones now and go into detail on each one as the video goes on. It's got 125mm and 150mm pads that you can swap on and off, a 5mm random orbit pattern, this pressy little handle thingy, multiple speed control settings, 1 meter long dust hose with swivel feature, I love this, a super long power lead, and it comes in black so it looks cool. The shop vac's pretty cool too. It's got a power takeoff feature, a 1200 watt motor, a 2 meter long hose, a 5 meter long cord, extension poles, a large floor head, a small surface head, a crevice tool, and a step rubber adapter for fitting to other tools. More on this later. And onboard storage for everything. Alright, let's delve into the sander. I had this old Makita red sander, which I've had for years, and it's done okay for me for a 50 quid sander. I'd been eyeing up one of these more ergonomic sanders for a while when I saw this Rutlands one that they released, so I needed to get my hands on it. I wanted something with this longer style grip, as I assumed it would be more comfortable and easier to use for longer periods of sanding. And I have to say, it is. This rubberized grip is really good, but it does set it slightly off balance, so if you haven't got your hand on it, then it's inclined to tilt. Now, due to the fact that you only have to press this little paddle to use it, this isn't really an issue, but if you're not paying full attention, you could quite easily tip it backwards and gouge your wood. But it's only really the case towards the edge of your workpiece when the dust hose is dangling over the edge. This flappy handle thing is a good feature as it gives you good control compared to ones like my old one, which simply had an on-off function. However, one thing I'm not so keen on that feels a little bit clunky is that you have to turn on the sander before you can use the flappy bit. I guess it's a safety feature so that you don't accidentally start it up when moving it around, but I always forget to turn on this power button and it's just a little bit annoying. Do you hear that? Sounds just like clicking the like button. What it does do though is allow you to adjust the speed settings on it using these plus and minus buttons. The simple LED indicates what setting it's on. Although it's a basic line structure with no numbers or anything, so you're kind of just guessing at what each level means. To be honest though, I've not used it on any setting lower than the top setting, and for 99% of all the sanding that I do, I don't think I'll ever adjust this. I reckon it's got plenty of power though. What I really like about it is how little it vibrates compared to my old one, which makes it really comfortable in your hand, even on full power. Speaking of power though, I didn't really want a battery powered sander as you can often spend quite a long time sanding, and I don't want to have to make sure I've got enough batteries charged. Not to mention, I always connect my sander to a shop vac, so if I've got a vacuum hose attached to the sander, then I may as well have a power cord too. Especially considering how long this power cord is. It's the longest one I've ever had on a sander, or any other tool for that matter. It's 4 meters long, so even big awkward sized projects you won't have a problem with. I always like to connect my sander to a shop vac, and seeing as this one actually came with a shop vac, then it's even better. It's a shame that it isn't designed to fit straight onto the shop vac though, but they do provide a stepped adapter which you can cut down to fit properly. My other tools just have my own personal custom dust hose adapters which I made of duct tape. The feature I absolutely love on this is the swivel dust hose, which is a great design feature as it means you can move it around really well without the hose twisting or kinking, which can be a bit of a pain as it can stop your sander from sitting flat on your workpiece. A quick word on the power takeoff feature on the vac. It's a decent feature, but I can't help but thinking this one's a little clunky because you've got to plug your sander in. Then you've got to make sure you've got this switch done. Then you've got to hit the button on the top here. Then you've got to turn on the power button on here, and then you can start sanding. It just feels a little too complicated for what's essentially quite a simple feature. It's good, could be better. Rutlands recommend using mesh pads for the best dust extraction, and that brings me nicely onto today's fake sponsor. And that's keeping old tiny bits of sandpaper rather than throwing them away, because that small scrap of sandpaper could come in handy one day, and heaven forbid you might throw it out. So remember people, keep all your scraps and old sanding discs for that just in case moment. And if this is something you do, be sure to let me know in the comments. Thanks, pointless little bits of sandpaper, for sponsoring this video. Now, before I take you through my top 3 pros and cons for the sander, if you decide that this one's for you, I'll put a link in the description for you. If you do use that link, it really helps my channel and gives me the chance to make more videos like this. And if you decide it's not the sander for you, then that's cool too. I'd be really interested to see if it's a sander you'd buy or not buy. So I'd love to hear it if you'd drop a comment below in the comment section. Right, so let's look at my top 3 pros and cons for this sander. Pro number 1, the price. For a sander of this quality, 150 quid is pretty good. But then you add in the shop vac too, and the deal gets even better. Pro number 2, the different size pads. I wanted it mainly for the 150mm pad because I wanted something bigger, but having the option to switch to the smaller one as well is really good. Pro number 3, this swiveling dust hose is probably not one of those features you'd buy it for, but it's great and works really well. Okay, so let's talk about the not so great things about the Rutlands sander. Con number 1. I'm 6 foot tall and do an office job. I don't have the biggest hands in the world, but I wish the space here for your fingers was a little bit bigger so I could fit my fingers in comfortably when I'm using it with this grip. Con number 2, it's pretty weighty at the end particularly, and the weight distribution could be better to avoid it tipping when you aren't holding it. Con number 3, this one's more about the shop vac, to be honest. I really like the power takeoff feature here, as it can be really handy if you don't have a socket nearby, but to be honest, that's not much of an issue with a power lead as long as it's got. It's more that I think it's just a bit unnecessarily complicated to make sure you've got everything sorted correctly. All right, guys, that's everything for this one. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more tool reviews and projects. And I put a couple of videos right here that I think you might want to check out next.